Hello, everybody. Welcome to 4 Deep Sports Talk here at the news station, 1320 AM Attleboro. I'm Tristan Ferrer, aka the Sports Master, and now a quick commercial. This segment of 4 Deep Sports Talk is made possible by the generous support of Diesel Direct. Diesel Direct, the national fuel resource in 46 states, boosts a fleet of over 900 fuel delivery trucks. 4 Deep Sports Talk would like to congratulate Diesel Direct on its 25th year anniversary. Thank you, Diesel Direct, for your unwavering support, helping us provide a platform for high school and youth athletes in southeastern Massachusetts. Now, we are here with the Oliver Ames Boys Soccer Championship in Division 2. So, do you guys want to introduce yourselves to our audience?
Yeah, so my name is Diego Rivera. I am a senior captain from last year's team. I was a center back, number 3.
My name is Jackson Mercieri. I played center back last year for Oliver Ames. I'm going to be captain next year.
My name's Ryan Linares. I was a center attacking mid. I was captain of the senior class, and yeah.
My name's Craig Churchill. I played midfield last year. I'm going to be captain next year.
My name is John Barada, and I'm the coach for Airway Boys, and it's just our 15th year, and I want to thank you, and obviously, 4 Deep Sports for having us be a part of this broadcast, so really appreciate it. We're looking forward to being with you guys.
Also, we thank you for coming as well. So, I want to ask, what's the hardest part of playing soccer?
I'd say the hardest part, believe it or not, is probably like as you get older, like the mental part of it. Because I think that a lot of the time you want to get better, but the biggest thing is being disciplined because you have to stay motivated and always wanting to work harder than everyone else so you can succeed more. But also, as you know, in like everything, not everything's going to go your way. So you have to be like prepared to take a step back and evaluate yourself and then bring yourself up for whatever happens on from there.
Yeah, like you said, the mental part of the game is as big as the physical part. So training and everything, physically doing all that drills and everything, that's as important as mentally training, building up your strength to be able to perform pressure situations and succeed.
For me, I totally agree with them, but studying the game has to be one of the biggest things for me. Always watching soccer, being attached to it, such a big thing for me. Individual training too, going on the field by yourself every day, just working hard when no one's looking. It's really important for me.
I think I agree with everything said, but I think like one very important thing in the game is to like push yourself and your teammates.
So, how long have you guys been playing?
For me, I've been playing since I was 4, so probably 13 years now, going on 14.
Lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah, same for me. It's just all I ever know, since I was 15.
I actually started late. I think I was 10 actually. I played at the church when I was little, but I took a break, didn't really like it, then I returned and played for the town.
I played pretty much like my whole time.
Coach, you can hold that mic towards you. There you go. You're welcome. Or you can use the same one. So my question is, I try to play off them. What did you guys want to work on as I think you guys personally wanted to work on to make your game better? Like you said, you were working from behind the scenes doing stuff. What individually did you guys want to work on coming into the season? Any certain thing? Footwork, dribbling, anything?
I think the biggest thing was just getting together as a group over the summer. Everyone was going their ways, little groups, and we had to get everyone together in one team in one spot. So I think the biggest thing was we went to camp for a week. That's how the group got together, and I think that's what did it for us.
Anything individually you guys wanted to work on?
Yeah, so for me, I'd say going into the season, people said we wouldn't be what we were last year, and that was like the outside looking in. But I think being on the team and being a leader, I realized like what we had, and not everyone saw it. So I think that the biggest thing for me, like I wanted to lead, but I didn't want people to settle because they see what everyone else is saying about us. And so I didn't want them to drop their levels, so I always tried to keep the team like on top of everything, and I was always trying to just push them as much as I can because I know what we had, and I know the whole group knew what we had as well, and we knew what we were capable of. And
Nice.
I would say something that's super important before the season, we all individually worked on our own things, but once we brought together in the summer, that was the most important part because we had all been individual good players, but then when we came together, that's when we really became to grow as a team.
I think something that was really important is
You can pull that right towards you, or just use coaches. Don't matter.
the connection between like our whole team, and like we were like really tight as a team, and I think that was like one thing that was like important to us.
So I'll just comment on the guys. I mean, I think sometimes they don't. I think their drive and their desire, each one of these right here show a tremendous amount of like leadership by example, right? And I think for me, one thing that they don't give themselves enough credit, they came in very, very fit. So at the end of the day, they talk about the mental game, which was a massive capacity that we did dominate a bit. But because they were so fit physically and prepared, it allowed us to work on gelling as a family, gelling as a unit, and then preparing our tactical strategies versus trying to get them fit. So I will give them they need to have a little more credit for like, they worked very, very hard. I'm pretty demanding, and they were really, really well prepared. I got to be transparent, and awesome. I think if anyone else can learn from that, I hope they do that more in the future.
That's a big part of it because then you're already you're starting ahead of everyone else. You don't have to reset and get the whole fitness and training because then you can start planning more tactical stuff. But you guys mentioned you all went to camp together over the summer, and then all that kind of team bonding. Like how important do you think that was to doing well?
I mean, I think ultimately that's what like team bonding and like how your team chemistry is ultimately like one of the biggest factors to success. Because I know when I was a freshman, we had like one of the like top teams that's ever walked through OA, but they were not together as a group, as one. There was a bunch of individual players, and ultimately we didn't get the success that we had like now. And I think that I remember my junior year when we were at that camp, we had a come together moment, all of us, and some kids were crying during it. So it just shows how much the team means to each individual person. And when they realize how much everyone cares and everyone wants it for each other, not for themselves, because the kid who was crying, he was a kid who wasn't a starter, didn't really play a lot, but he was the one crying. And I think everyone who was like starting and playing, seeing how much everyone cared.
The buy-in, yeah.
Exactly. It just drives them and motivates them to do it for each other, not for themselves. And I think, like you said, the bonding part is one of the biggest factors in team success.
Yeah, we'll comment quick. Just there's going to be a throwdown. The 2021 class will now challenge this 2023 class. Thanks to Diego at this moment. But that was good. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I was saying, like you said, the camp that we went to, when you wake up next to your brothers and you play with them and you compete with them and you push them throughout the entire day, right? You go to every meal with them. You see them every part of the day. And when you do that for a week, there's nothing more that can create a stronger bond. Like, you're pushing each other to be the absolute best. And so when we come back, we're so much more prepared than any other team because of that, you know?
I definitely got to get a picture of the rings that Coach has on his hand. I just saw that. And someone else is wearing a state champion. All you guys wearing your rings?
I don't have one, no.
No. It's in
Diego's is in a museum somewhere.
That's awesome. That's awesome. If you want to call in 508, 222-1320. We have the Massachusetts back-to-back Division II state champions from Oliver Rams High School. And to add to Maddie's question, as far as gelling and all that, how do you, now you were a captain last year, and you're a captain this year, right? Who else is, do you have another captain for this year?
Yeah,
Right.
me and my brother.
You and your brother? So I want to know from you two guys, what did you learn from this young man to your left that you're going to carry over, or maybe even add something he might have forgot, to keep these kids motivated, to have them believe? Because the hardest thing is, I mean, Coach will tell you, when we were our age, I don't know how Coach is, maybe I shouldn't add him in my category, but there was a lot of picking on. There was a lot of, picking on kids. It wasn't like helping out the junior kids, and you get those kids that are not just seniors, you get junior sophomores that can compete at the varsity level. But you got to keep them motivated. You got to let them know they're part of the team. How are you guys looking to carry that under this season?
That's a good question. I would say that I remember throughout the season we were winning a lot, and so some teams get complacent, when we're winning, and we keep just destroying teams. Both of them, they never let us do that. They were keeping us on our toes every single practice. Never got comfortable. Never were satisfied until the very end, until the very last win. And that's where you have to keep motivating. Our goal was to win the championship, and that's our only goal, right? There are little steps along the way, but that's the most important thing. And so until we get that, the motivation is at an ultimate high.
Excellent.
I think one thing that Diego really did, he pushed us a lot, especially like me, because like I play like right in front of him. Like every time like I messed up, like he would always let me know, and like I feel like that would always drive me to be like better.
There you go. All right, we're going to take our first break, and as long as I can do it the right way.
You got it. I believe it.
You have faith?
It's been a while.
It's been a while. You are listening and watching 4 Deep Sports Talk here on the news station, 1320 AM WARA, and online, all one word, 4deepsportstalk.com. We have the back-to-back Division II Massachusetts boys soccer state champions from Oliver Rams High School. We'll be back with them and more right after this.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to 4 Deep Sports Talk here at 1320 AM Attleboro. We are continuing highlighting the Oliver Ames Boys Soccer Division II Championships. Now, I didn't actually write this down in question, but I just thought of this right off the top of my head. Where'd you get your rings?
That's a great question.
So I'll answer. So we have, when we won the state title, we've had some very, very generous benefactors and donators within the community that allow us and give us the opportunity to get a memento or a memory, right? So we only get to wear it like today, banquets, like Hall of Fames. It's not like we wear it every day. It's more of a kind of a reminder of all the hard work that goes into it. So we're very blessed that we had benefactors and donors within the Eastern community that are giving it, and they like to stay anonymous, so I'll respect that. But we had 3 very, very generous donators that gave us, or benefactors that gave us the opportunity to get the rings. And this year they've picked a very sharp-looking ring as well. It hasn't come in yet, but they'll add a little more bling to their hand for sure.
So before we get started, I have to apologize. Casey Conley is away on a basketball game. She's usually here with us. She's a paparazzi, taking all the pictures, putting on all the social media, TikTok.
Yeah.
And then Luz Cabral has a terrible head cold. She is home. She's actually the paparazzi that puts everything on. So I have a junior paparazzi. We have a paparazzi, and they put you guys all.
One's
over
in
the place.
training.
One's in training, but she's doing pretty good. So I want to give a shout out to them. Before I forget, I apologize for that. And then at the end, we'll talk about our basketball banquet. We won't get into that later. It's all set for April 27th. But yeah, continue on. I'm sorry.
Okay. Now my next question is, was Wakefield the hardest team to beat in order to win the championship?
I'll jump in quick before the guys say anything. So I think all the teams were competitive. I think they were all very, very difficult, and I think all tournament games are really, really a challenge. I think we had a couple of big-time games prior to the Wakefield game, but I think that it's always hard to win a state final game, right? And Diego right there saved 2 balls off the line, right? Wow. Although it was maybe only 2 shots that were against us, but they were off the line that were saved by our captain right there. So I will say it was a very difficult game to win, and then I'll let you guys jump in.
No, I mean, for me, I think it was like we had chances, but I think throughout the whole season we've had chances that we haven't put away, and ultimately it just puts a lot of pressure. Like Coach said, all the teams are good. I think for me, the hardest game that I played was probably Melrose game, the semifinal game before that. Only because they were a very, very talented team, and I think it was very even game, and it was back-to-back the whole time. And also, if you look the goal that we scored to win that game, I mean, how many times we do that this year? Not many, especially from where Craig was right there, because Craig was the one that scored it. But, yeah, for me, I'd say Melrose. But, yeah.
Shout out Craig.
Right? He's so nonchalant. Like, yeah, I put the ball in the.
Yeah, I'll
That's
say,
awesome.
like you said, there were I think the accumulation of all the hard opponents we faced, like, we played Needham, we played Concord Carlisle, and all throughout the playoffs, that I feel like in terms of were they the hardest physical team to play, probably not, but all those games led up to us being prepared for the last game, which was the hardest to win. Yeah,
I'd say for me personally, I don't think the opponent was the hardest team to beat, but I think the environment we were in, how much pressure we had, especially for me, because it was my last game, like, no matter the score, because I'm a senior. So I think that was probably the hardest thing for me in the final, just knowing that it's my last time going to play for OA.
If you want to call in, 508-222-1320. What do you get at, Craig? I'm sorry.
I'm blanking on the team, but like our third game, I think that was the most challenging one for me. Hang on. Because like it was really cold, and that was like probably the main reason why. But like I just remember it was really cold that game, and we couldn't score early. I had a rough game, but to me that was the hardest game.
So I wanted to just run down their, get everybody recapped on their season, and this is what I got off Max Prep. They have Brockton and Concord Carlisle. No, they didn't put a score in for that one. The first score I have is, and again, if you want to call in, 508-222-1320. and we're going to repost this when we edit the show. I have first they set up with a tie against Franklin on the 6th of August. The 9th they beat Dedham. They lost to Dedham 1-0. The 12th they beat Stoughton 3-1. King Philip 2-1. Mansfield 1-0. Then they had their second loss against Attleboro 2-0 on the 22nd. Canton 4-0. Again, as we run down their season, North Attleboro, they beat them 4-2. Sharon 5-0. Taunton 1-0. I know Matt didn't want to hear that. Foxborough 3-1. Milford 2-1. Stoughton 2-1. Mansfield 4-2. And then Canton 6-0. Beat Sharon 4-0. And I want to make sure I get the right date here. And then they blanked Foxborough 8-0. Conquered Carlisle 1-0. Brockton, you guys probably beat Brockton on November 1st, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it was a scrimmage, okay. Then they went into they went in the tournament. Chicopee Comp, I don't forget what the full name is, but Chicopee, they beat them 3-0. Matamoskott Regional 3-0. Hingham 1-0. I thought this would be the toughest game to play when you went to the OT and won 2-1 against Melrose. I mean, then again, the championship game 1-0, but that's the game I would be going to the bathroom changing my pants after that one with the 2-1 overtime win. That's a crazy game. You lose that, you're not in the finals.
That
Right.
was the one that I said. But
Yeah.
I also think going back to that, I'm really proud of the team because that was the first game in the playoffs we were down. So they actually scored first, and then we had a goal of the season to tie it, and then our OT goal. But yeah, I mean, it showed our true character because we haven't been down in the playoffs, and we are down in the semifinal probably 5 minutes into the second half, and luckily we had time to bring it back, but
Absolutely.
it wasn't easy.
Right, Pat. All right, we're going to step away. The state champs are here. You can call in at 508-222-1320. We'll be back with them and more right after this.
And we are back here on 40 Sports Talk, WARA 1320 AM in the news station. We have Dominic Damiano make his return back to the board.
No smokes. It's all good. And
Justin
nothing's burning.
Ferreira and the Oliver Ames Division II state champions. So I want to lead off with this. So that championship game, you guys talked about it. The atmosphere is all obviously crazy. Some of you guys, the last game of that, you're going to play in high school. And that last goal when you scored, just take us back to that and kind of the emotions and how that experience.
Yeah, so for me, when we scored that goal, I didn't know what to do because we scored it at the other end.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if I should run down there or if I should run to the fans. I ended up going to the fans, and then luckily, after we scored, the whole team came to the fans as well. But I was like through the roof for with the fans the whole time. But and you had to climb up the fence to get to the fans, so I did that. But when I jumped down and started seeing all the players, then I just broke down because, I mean, it just means so much to me. But I think the biggest thing for me is I was lucky that no matter what had happened, I was playing my last game, win or lose. And, yeah, so going into it, I didn't think about it as my last game, although I knew it was. But I was thinking about the positives, and, it's obviously sad, so I didn't want to think about that. But I'd say when we scored, and I just saw the whole team and we were all like embracing each other. It's a feeling that it's like undescribable, but it's one I'll remember for like ever, definitely.
Yeah, I'll say it's definitely one of the greatest feelings I've ever had. You know, like you said, we ran up to the fans because that's what we've been doing the whole playoffs. You know, every win we've been running the fans and cheering and stuff, and like they were our back, like they were our backbone throughout the whole playoffs. They did such great support, so shout out them. But they, you know, the feeling was amazing. Like you said, like after, like, you know, you couldn't hold it anymore. So I broke down in tears and stuff, but that's just what it meant to us, you know.
That's pretty cool.
That's really cool. Before you go, Ryan, I will say it was a very emotional win. Like, I got it, like, usually everyone's happy, but, like, it was so funny because, like, I tell these guys, like, the best part that they had is they get to control their destiny. So when you finish the season on your terms, whether it's happy or sad, it's your terms, right? So I think we were in great shape knowing that, hey, we did our best, we got there, and then when we won, I mean, tears of joy were just flowing, and that was something I hadn't experienced last year or in 2015. I just didn't have that, and like, it doesn't mean it was more valuable or not. It's just, I don't know, this time around, I remember it clearly. I'm saying, why are these tears flowing? I couldn't get it. So I'm there with them.
You didn't cut an onion or nothing, right? You were good to go. You didn't like it, cut an onion and get. I'm kidding. Bad analogy, bad joke.
No, I couldn't lie. It was flowing.
If you guys want to throw in the headsets, it should be there. We have a caller. Caller, you still there?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, stand by, guys. Are going to put on the headphones. You might have, well, one's going to have to share. So you two guys, there you go. All right, what's your question, sir?
Hey, yeah, John was kind of going off a bit, but I'm an OA class of 2016 grad. I watched the 2015 team. Phenomenal team. Was super fun to watch. I know some of these kids were either ball boys or grew up watching that team. I just want to know, like, what they took from that 2015 team and why they were so special in the 2 back-to-back state titles they, you know, have, which is also a great accomplishment, but really what they took from that team and how they built this success going forward in this amazing soccer program.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first, I guess. The 2015 team, how we
What
learned from that.
Yeah, what these guys learned from watching that great team at that time.
To be honest, I grew up watching OA soccer. I didn't go to the final that game. It's a really rough memory for me going to the games as a kid. But I'd say through the teams I've seen, and it's kind of like you guys are like legends of the school, so we just wanted to become our own team and write our own history, to be honest. So I think that was the team's main goal, to be our own team and try to show you guys up, I guess, by being the best team in OA. So I think that was our main goal, and that's what kind of pushed us through the season.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so for me, I'll just keep it short because I wasn't even in the town of Easton in 2015. But, like, when I first got in the program, the biggest thing I heard, because we hadn't won a state chip since 2015, is how can we do the same thing that the 2015 team did. And I think that talking about them a lot drove the team a lot and motivated them a lot to be like the 2015 team and win a state championship, but do it in their own way. So I think that throughout my 4 years, we just wanted to, like Ryan said, write our own story.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Craig, you want to add to that? Do you have something to come to mind, or?
I agree with what Diego said, just like creating our own path, and like we always were inspired by that team, but we just wanted to be like our own team and like win.
Caller, do you have another question for the guys?
Yeah, I'd love to two-part that.
Please.
You guys have created your own history. You always will be in history. What can you do going forward, you know? You've had alums come back and speak. You've been there. Like, how can you keep this program going for the future years to keep winning and have successful futures?
Yeah, I'll go first. I'll say that, you know, success at OA it's been there recently, and the only way that we can keep moving forward is, yes, to remember what we've done, but also build off that. You know, like not just we can reminisce, but not in a like, oh, that was the past way. Like we use that. We have to use that as, you know, fuel for the future, and to look and to get more of that success. That's all we want, you know.
So I'll just jump in quick. I mean, that wasn't able to answer the 2015 question. I will say, like, I think the 2015 laid a massive foundation for what our program was a kind of stepping stones until then. And then when you have players like Keegan, not Chris Romero, Bamford and Mallers and then the Cardozas and Carrolls. I mean, there's so many Velas and Calvados and McCormicks and all those guys, Alvarado's. Like we were a very strong team, and we won with different skill sets. So I think having that support to me was amazing. I don't know if you guys know this, but when we won in Lynn, it was 2015. Okay. So when we went back and won again this year, 2013 in Lynn, we had about 10 guys from that 2015 team in the stands watching.
That's awesome.
So we have a photo of that at the end. I'll try to find that. So that was really an amazing gesture of like kind of the family we try to build here, right? And then I don't know what that last question was that you just got.
How to build in success.
But I think that this is why the stepping stones and how everything kind of builds upon itself that we try to do here. Listen, right now we're heroes, right? But we can lose next year or 2 years from now when people are like, oh, John doesn't know what he's doing. Like, that's the coach's life.
Yeah,
I go from hero to zero in like 2 seconds.
That's right, Bill Belichick.
Yeah, right now I enjoy it, right? I enjoy it. But like, it's not like we're going to change our process. Of like, we'll try to build family. We'll try to get better. We'll do the BGSA stuff. We'll do the camp stuff. We'll do the team building stuff. We all do it. It's just, it's got to be morphed and changed based on like the needs of the players, right? And sometimes we'll win. Sometimes we won't. Right now, I'll just enjoy the ride. I've got amazing players, and they want to do successful. I want to be successful, so I'm a part of that. So I just wanted to jump in quick on that. Thanks, guys.
Caller, thank you for the call.
No problem at all. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Have a good weekend.
You too.
I just wanted to jump in. So that was he from the class of
15?
15. So that goes back a few years. So I just wanted to ask, how do you think this program has stayed so consistently like good year after year after year?
I'll say it, coach right here. That's all it is. I'll say that.
How's it been?
That's pretty good. I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think of course John is like the main thing, but I think for players coming in, they realize what the OA program is. So I think it's not a coincidence how OA has good players every year. I think that they look back on past teams and they want to be like that, because I know when I was coming in as a freshman, I didn't know what to expect, but when I saw like the team and how good they were, I wanted to be like them. So then that whole summer, I was going to the fields every day and trying to work on myself as much as I could. So of course John is like, because he's the coach of it, he does all the tactics, all the scouting, all the game plans, the practices, all that, gets us ready and all that. But I do think that us as players, we should give ourselves credit because we put in the work that we need to. And like I said, it's not a coincidence how OA always has like good players.
Yeah.
Tell you the big thing is you don't have to worry about the private schools. I won't mention any names because they love to steal good players.
So I mean, funny enough, we've lost kids. I mean, we have kids that have gone MLS Next. We've got kids who have gone to private schools, but these guys are still. They still establish themselves. Like, just so we're clear, like, we lost. I mean, listen, an All-American left and went to play MLS Next, right? And he would have been back this past year, right? He just committed to Georgetown. He would have been here this year as well. We lost another kid who was an All-State player who went to another private school. We would have had him this year as well. But these guys, we didn't need it. They had themselves. I mean, I appreciate the kind sentiments, but like for me, I can only coach when I have great people, right? I can only coach what I have in front of me. At the end of the day, yeah, we can have tactics, we can have stuff, but if I don't enjoy it and want to be there like all the time, it doesn't work. Like, these guys were family. We joke around about it, and people are like, oh, you guys say family. We are family. Like, family have hard times too. It wasn't all sunshine and roses, just so we're clear. I buried them at times. And sometimes they were not happy about it, right? But it's part of life. Like, sometimes things go on. I think my biggest thing is these boys, I say, but like these young men leave this program and they will be the leaders of the future. They will be coaches, family men, fathers. They'll be amazing leaders. They'll be CEOs. Some might be president for all I know. Like, they're that good, and that's my goal, right? And I think they're very kind to say it's me, but like, it's us, right? I think it's always been about us and we, and not them or him, right? I think that's what's always made us different, and people sometimes don't believe it. But that is how we get to where we are. I believe it's you guys that make us that team.
That's exactly what Bill Belichick used to say when he won all those world titles. All about the players.
All the players.
You can put them in the right spot, and as long as they get it, good things are going to happen. You know. All right, we are getting ready to take our third break. Is that our third break? Yeah, close to it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're about to take our third break. If you want to call in, 508-222-1320. We had the back-to-back Massachusetts Division II boys soccer state champions from all of the Rams High School. We will be back with them and more right after this. Again, you can call in 508-222-1320 as long as I don't burn this board up by touching the wrong button. Oh, boy, am I out of practice. All right, we'll be back with them and more right after this.
Good job.
That's how I ended up here. And I'm gonna.
All right, we're going to stay right here because I obviously messed something up here because we're going to stay.
Oh,
I didn't go to the commercial. I know what I did. I didn't let the bar finish. That's why. So we're going to stay right here.
False alarm. We're back.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That was the quickest commercial ever.
Wow.
I did that before. I know what I did wrong. I didn't let the bar finish come across. Again, you want to call in 508-222-1320. Lower my volume. I should have never left my seat. I should have kept you in the seat. But I need to get back into practice. This is what they learn. They learn how to run the board. At the time, I know what I'm doing. Now I've been away too
And
many
what not
times.
to do. It's good.
Right, yeah.
That's what we do.
It's all learning.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know, and I think we have a PSA coming up right now. Make sure I can get it on. And give me a second.
Welcome back to 4 Deep Short Suck here at the news station 1320 AM Attleboro. Now my next question is, how do you practice soccer? What is the process of practicing for a soccer game?
I'd say, so I'll go team practices first, like for high school. So you typically have 2 to 3 games a week, so you don't really have a lot of time to practice, like, technically, which is why it's important that you come in, like, ready to go, because in high school, it's sometimes you have 3 games in the span of 5 days, so you'll play a game, and then the next day is like a recovery day / a walkthrough, and then you have to prepare for the next team. So it's a lot of preparing, and I think that's a big thing. You have to be able to change, like, you just have to be able to change over really quickly, because one team could be, and most of the time, is completely different than the next team. So you have to be able to adapt to them. But I think also being smart throughout the season, because injuries are a key factor because of how many games you are playing, and you practice 6 days a week. So it's very hard on your body. So I think it's really important to, just be careful with yourself.
Yeah, I could say one of the most important parts of the training that we go through throughout the season is the walkthroughs, and like we go through, we know all about the other team right before we play them, and so when we're practicing, we're thinking about their key players and where to shut them down and where we can go in their weaknesses and find those, and that's pretty much what we do, because like you said, we're coming in prepared, and so all coach has to do is give us the tactics and set us out there.
I think that's really the biggest piece is the preparation, because like you said, games can be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then the Tuesday and Thursday you're just recovering, and injuries do happen. I'll say from ton we had games where it'd be like 3 guys go down. And it's like, oh boy, and we only got 1 day, and then get ready again, turn around. But yeah, that's kind of.
So I'll say that periodization, like it's like training periodization, right? We have to do like recovery and prep on the same day, right? So we have to be cautious. I mean, we had Luke injured, Joey Carney injured, Ryan was injured. I mean, we started the season with 3 injuries or 4 injuries that we had to like navigate all the way through. Luke Churchill only came back with 6 weeks left in the season.
Sharon, yeah.
Yeah, it was like 5 weeks left in the season, like 5 full weeks. I mean, all the way including the playoffs. He only played like 8 games. So like we were dealing with a few of those. So I thought the guys were incredibly well fit, well prepared, and they were willing to do the hard work so that we could do. Again, it goes back to the players being ready and being prepared and wanting to be there, because then we were able to do the tactical stuff, because everyone had a different style of play in our league. But our Hawk prepares us for the state tournament very, very well because we see so many different styles of play. So that's something that we always have to be aware of, and why our sessions were very tactically driven based on like sometimes what other teams do, but we really focused on us, but just being aware of what everyone else had going on.
There you go. So you guys, to kind of jump off on Matt's question, what team, when you guys started your season, what team did you guys want to base off how good you were going to have for a season as you, like you guys played, you said 3 to 5 games a week. Was there a certain team, maybe not just in the Hockomock, that you played and you said to yourself, oh yeah, we're going to be good again? We're definitely jumping.
A relatable moment to that would be right before the tournament when we played Concord Carlisle. That was, for me at least, that was a big game for us because, in my opinion, that's one of the best games we played all year. And even though we lost 1-0, we still had a lot of chances. It just gave us motivation for the playoffs. And I think losing before the tournament is probably the best thing a team can go through, because it's kind of like we just lost, so we're not all that pretty much, even though our regular season record. So for me, that's probably the most relatable game.
What about you guys? Any other game come to mind?
I would say like way before that, the first time we played Concord Carlisle, we were missing Joey and Luke. Were you at that game? And Ryan, and like we played well against them, and like we made a couple mistakes that they scored on, and then we still had like a good amount of chances. And after that game, like I kind of realized, and I think other people did that, like we had a good team, and like we were without a lot of our top players, and we still like performed against one of the best teams.
Awesome. So we have another call. Caller is going to get the headsets on. He's like, I don't care. You can put the headset on. What's your question, sir? Oh, ma'am, sorry.
Hey, guys. This is Coach Ruben here from Hockomock here. How's everyone doing? Just wanted to congratulate you guys. My question is for the upperclassmen, the seniors. What is the best message you guys send for the, for the underclassmen, the 8th graders coming up? Obviously to look up to you guys, and, they're anxious and nervous. So what is the best advice that you guys recommend? Because as coaches, that's something that we, look up to.
Yeah, I'll start by saying, what's up, Ruben? It's good to see you. But, the underclassmen, it's important to prepare them for varsity, and like that's eventually what we want everyone to play on is varsity, and to get the highest level possible for their individual, but also for the team effort. But yeah, especially like, I said for my personal experience, it was important for me to be in the environment of the varsity team when I was young, when I was 8th grade and coming up into freshman year, because it sets the tone for what OA expects and what we should be looking forward to and what success we want to achieve.
I think one of the more important things that the incoming 8th graders or freshmen next year like need to realize is like not that easy, because like we won 2 in a row, and like a lot of these kids probably might think it's easy, but it's a lot of work.
So not knowing what Ruben asked, but kind of inferring, I think I have to hear it. First of all, Ruben, congratulations on the excellent job you've done at Stoughton in the last 2 years, right? And helping improve the quality of soccer in the Hawk. You always give us such a pain in the butt time to play against. So like we appreciate that preparation for the tournament. So congratulations to you and Stoughton for what you've done there. But I'll say that preparation for high school players, it really is the physical prep, in my opinion. I think we can never underestimate how important a player's physical ability coming into high school is, right? Because to play varsity ball, you have to remember you're a 14-year-old boy playing against 17 to 18-year-old men if you want to play varsity soccer. So people, players, parents need to understand that there's a big prep work and load to be ready to do that. So that's what I always say is like encourage them to be very physically fit and prepared, and the rest we can work out as a group. That's kind of how we've done it at OA. But don't take that secret back to Stoke.
Coach, thank you for the call.
Yeah, thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Congratulations again.
Excellent. That was awesome. And that was a Stoughton coach calling in, right?
Yeah, Ruben the Stone coach.
Nice. So, Coach, I wanted to ask you real fast before we forget, and the guys can help us out. Let's go over your coach and staff, and let's go over the rest of the guys. Obviously not here, so you guys won't get in trouble next time. You won't sit. You'll see them then. Hey, I did mention your name on the air and on TV.
Yeah.
Shoutouts.
Shoutouts, yes.
Yeah, so I mean, usually we save them for the end anyway, so it's perfect. So for me, obviously, I have a wonderful staff of coaches. Whenever the guys were injured, I could just throw in our 9 coaches since we have enough coaches to play in a full game at the moment. So I have 9 assistant coach. I mean, for my father who helps out, right, as an unofficial volunteer, Chico Barada, then we have like Joe Sakara, who is one of my players from 2015. So he helps out, again, at an unofficial capacity, but they're always present. Obviously, we got Ali, who's our assistant coach, and first, varsity coach as well. Ali, he did a lot with the JV team. We had Coach Dan Linares, Ryan's dad, who helped out and worked out the goalkeepers, right? We had Coach Rick Milliken, whose son Casey was an All-American last year, and he has helped out, tremendously, and does a lot of work. We had Coach Kevin Morera, who is present, and then we have like awesome coaches that are volunteer coaches that help us out, that are teachers at the school.
That's a big staff.
Yeah, listen, I got a whole list. Hold on. But like Coach G, Dan, who's a Spanish teacher, and then Jake Sunderland, who are really helpful in getting us connected academically as well as athletically. Our boys team, although we've done very well on the field, I'm super proud of, they've had 10 years of academic excellence, winning their national award for team academics, having a 3.25 and above for the entire team.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So to be fair, like they've been very successful. The program, these guys 4 years in a row that have had that graduating out, but the program itself is 10 years going now. So that's a big thing for us. And then I'll let you guys shout out all the players.
I'll go just the defense because that's where I played last year. But obviously me and Diego and then Luke and Nikki. Luke came in like later this season, so shout out Luke. But he did really well, and he played a couple games of the regular season, and then the whole playoffs. He was super instrumental. He didn't exactly. He was injured, so he came. He had a boot. He had like a strap on, so he did what he needed to do, and was super helpful in the playoffs. And then Nikki. So he was probably one of our underclassmen of the year. He played pretty well. He lived up to what we thought we needed from him, especially as a sophomore. He did really well. And then Zach and Drew, our goalies, they did really well. Our defense overall the whole season, that was that's what we done.
Nice, thank you. What else are we missing? Gotta be.
We're missing a lot. I'll let them go first.
Yeah, please.
I'll go with midfield. Me and Craig, midfield. Then we had Joey, striker, Mike Mirage, right wing, and Cyrus, left wing. I don't want to speak for Craig. He can speak for himself, but actually I'll speak for him. Why not? Why not? Sometimes he would, be lazy. Like he was saying, Diego would always talk to him, but to be honest, I think he fit the 8 role perfectly. He was always there, always where the ball was. He was like, I think we call him like a octopus or something, a squid during the season because he was everywhere, always where the ball was. Just looking at him on the field, doesn't look like a player that would be super physical, but he has a different physical capacity when you look at him. Joey, our hero, I'd say, in the state final, came up big in the playoffs. I think he scored 7 goals, was a big player for us. Senior leader, even though he wasn't a captain, he was a leader on the team. I'd say Mike Mirage was a good fill-in player too. He helped a lot. Against Hingham, he scored the game-winning goal. He came up big in the playoffs as well. And Cyrus, he's coming back next year. He was a sophomore, so he'll be a junior next year. He's definitely got potential. He showed it last year. and I think he did a great job his sophomore year too.
I hope I didn't mess this up. We got about 13 seconds, but the clock says 12:53. But keep on. If we get cut off, you'll hear.
Unsung hero would be out of the midfield. Like, we don't realize how much work he did. Braden Blass, someone who's phenomenal. And they're like, so Aiden Byers is a goalkeeper backup. Zach Gilson was one of our backup goalkeepers. You have Chris Davis up front to provide a good atmosphere for us. You had Josh Ventura, who scored 7 or 8 goals for us. So we had a bunch of guys who did and contributed a lot of effort. And we had some underclassmen, freshmen like Colin Donahue and Mazukas, and then we have younger guys and Freddies and guys who were really a part of things, James Carlson, Bernie Ellie. So I just want to make sure, like, trying to get everyone's name out there, because like there were a lot of guys who did a lot of work. And then from our, not coaching staff, but our support staff, I mean, Mrs. Blass and Mrs. Carney, like Morgan and Stephanie, were amazing at supporting us for extra snacks and drinks and like all that and stuff. So
that's awesome.
We had a lot of people that were big to do, and Mrs. Kavabanikas with photos, and we had a lot of people that wanted success. So it's hard, and if we forgot you, we apologize. Like, we're just not very good at this. We're men, so I'm sorry about it.
The coach's number is, no, I'm only kidding. Send all your complaints to the coach.
I just wanted to ask one more thing. If
Absolutely, we got time.
Okay, so do you guys, this might be a tough question, not on the spot, but you guys have one piece of maybe advice you've been given or lesson from a coach or anything like that?
Or a parent or a relative or someone.
Anything.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of tough, but.
Well, they're thinking about it. That should have been a pregame question.
Yeah, maybe.
I got one more question as well.
Sure.
While you guys think about it, right? I'll just say that, I get to learn from all of them based on like how to deal with like players, dynamics. Like, I get a lesson from all of them every day, because they have it tough. They got to go to school. They got to do all the academics. So they have a lot of a load to carry. Some have to work. Some come from different homes. So like for me, I've had to learn that my coaching has to adjust, right? And it's from my experience directly with them, like how to connect with them, right? So for me, it's learning how to connect with players. I always feel I'm getting too old, so I just retire now, because like there's social media and there's just a different environment where they live. So that's for me, is that they always teach me how to stay connected. So I appreciate that. So hopefully I gave you some time to think.
Yeah, so definitely, yeah. There we go. But for me, there's two things. The first thing is just never give up, because I think that is like very important, because not everything's going to go your way. And so the second thing leading into that is there's always light at the end of the tunnel, because like I said, it's never easy. Like, your toughest times really shapes you as a person. But no matter what you're going through, whether it's sports, just in general, mentally, all that, just know that there's good at the end of whatever you're going for. So that's why you always should never give up. Just keep pushing, and just everything will get better. But also, something that motivates me is just my mom, because, I mean, she's a single mom. So she's like my best friend. Like, I talk to her about everything. Like, me and her relationship is just like, I couldn't ask for anything else. But I think she motivates me every day because of how hard she works for me to succeed.
Yep.
And, like, whatever I do in life, I want to be able to give back to her. And I think she's like a big part of who I am, and she's like half of who I am, because I look up to her every day. And yeah, so shout out my mom.
That's a great question. We just have one caller. I know we have 2 callers on the line. If you could go just real fast, maybe give a shout out, because we're running out of time. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
All right, go first, sir.
Hey, yeah, this is Aaron here. Boys, again, obviously I was very fortunate to watch you guys all season, and, great success. But if we were hypothetically to put the 2015 team, 22 team, and 23 team in a tournament, who would come out on top?
All right, that's one question. Thank you for the call. Then we have to hit the other lady. Young lady, you still on the line?
Yeah.
Yes, what's your question?
What do you like best about your coach?
There you go. What do you like best about your... Oh, they're all turning red now.
I mean,
all right, thank you for the call.
So the second question I'll answer first. What I like best about Coach John, I'd say, is his intensity. I think that, like, he brings the best out of everyone, every single practice, every game. And just like a time this happened was Stoughton. it's never easy with him, but I remember he was matching the Stoughton's coach intensity. I'll just say that. And they were going back and forth, and I think that brought out the best in the team, and it ended up paying off. So, yeah.
Awesome. We got we got less than a minute. Anyone want to elaborate on the last question? The first question, the last question.
The 2023 team, because like we had so much depth and like there was just so many like talented players on that team.
Oh, there you go. We just want to get out our Hall of Famers. We are doing our banquet on April 27th. Want to make sure we get that out at Audrey's Restaurant. Congratulations to Jim Kelleher from Abington High School, football coach. Ahmed Colombo, who passed away a while ago from Brockton High School. He's in, and Bob Fisher from Marshfield. Those are our Hall of Famers. I was going to play the music, but I couldn't multitask today. But again, I want to make sure I get out, Coach, you guys, everybody, all of us at 4 Deep Sports and the station 1320 AM WARA. I want to say congrats. That was awesome. Just stop picking on Attleboro, I guess. That's probably what they want to say. You know, but again, it was great to meet all you guys, Coach. It was great to meet you. And we will catch you next time. Everyone have a fantastic weekend.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you for having me.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, I still want to ask you. Go ahead. What's the best part of winning state champ?